Let It Glow by Marissa Meyer and Joanne Levy. Chapter 1. Aviva. You're getting to be such a pro with those chopsticks, my grandmother said. We were at our favorite Chinese restaurant in the middle of the dim sum rush on a Sunday. It was our special day together, one I looked forward to every week, and not only because we stuffed ourselves with dumplings and then hung out at the mall either, though that was a major perk. Some kids think their grandmothers are boring or too old to be fun, but my Bubby is the best. She's smart, sassy, and loves being the center of attention, just like me. When I looked up to agree with her about the chopsticks, the slippery dumpling slid out of them onto the tablecloth with a plop. Whoops, I exclaimed, grinning at her. Maybe not as good as you think. She leaned closer conspiratorially. I guess we'll just have to come back next week. After all, practice makes perfect. We both laughed. She'd been saying this for years, but really, who needed an excuse to go out for dim sum? Speaking of practice, Bubby said, I have great news. I stabbed the dumpling with a chopstick and lifted it up carefully so it wouldn't slide off. Oh, I said before I shoved the entire doughy package of deliciousness into my mouth. The holiday pageant at Rowena Village is coming up later this month. I was still chewing, but said, okay, as I reached for the steamer basket of sticky rice. Sounds fun. Bubby lived at a senior center, not because she was old, but because she hated to cook for herself. All of her friends lived there or were close by, and there were fun programs almost every night. I knew part of it was also that her eyesight had gotten pretty bad and she couldn't drive anymore, but that hadn't slowed her down yet. Still, the way she talked about Rowena Village made it sound really good, like a year-round summer camp. More than once I'd asked her when I could move in. She always laughed, even though I wasn't totally joking. You should be in it, said Bubby. Sticky rice instantly forgotten. I looked up at her. Really? Of course, you're a born performer. You're not wrong, I sang, shimmying in my seat. She winked as if to say, Of course I'm not wrong, and picked up a hargo dumpling with her chopsticks. The best part, I made sure they're including a Hanukkah number this year. She took a bite of the dumpling, not dropping the rest. She was such a pro. Once she was done chewing, she pointed the half-eaten dumpling at me. You'll be in the Hanukkah number, and will shine like the star you are, my bubbler. See, this was one of the reasons I loved my grandmother. She knew I was meant to be a star, in movies or on Broadway, wherever, except... Of course I want to be in the pageant, Puppy, I said. I want to sing and dance and perform. You know I do. But I reached again for the sticky rice, dropping my eyes to the steamer basket, not sure how to finish the sentence. But what, Vivi? I grabbed one of the packets of rice wrapped in a lotus leaf and plunked it on my plate. Then I gently pulled at the corner to open it. Yes, I was stalling. Vivi? Fine, I muttered through a sigh. I'm just not that Jewish. Speak up, Bubba. I said, I looked up at her, I'm not very Jewish. Her eyes narrowed a little. What do you mean? You're Jewish. There is no very. I just don't feel very Jewish, I shrugged. We don't celebrate anything. Dad's not even Jewish. And, well, there's that whole I'm adopted thing. I don't feel very Jewish. How can I do a Hanukkah number? Bubby put down her chopsticks slowly and reached for her small cup of jasmine tea. She took a drink before returning it to the table. Now she was stalling. Her eyebrows knitted together like she was thinking hard about what she should say. Finally, she looked straight at me with the kind of serious face that made me want to fidget and squirm. That you were adopted has nothing to do with it. You were wanted and instantly loved by your family the second they brought you home. As a baby, you were taken to the mikveh and given a Hebrew name and became as Jewish as if you had a Jewish birth mother. You will have a bat mitzvah this year, like your brother had a bar mitzvah, and your father not being Jewish does not make you any less Jewish. Aviva Libby Davis, you are Jewish.